Let us now discuss the linear dependence of the eigenvectors corresponding to a linear operator. So for that we have a theorem on linear independence which states that if x1, x2 up to xn, they represent the eigenvectors corresponding to different eigenvalues lambda 1, lambda 2 up to lambda n of some linear operator t on a vector space X, that set of eigenvectors x1, x2 up to xn, that is a linearly independent set. So this is the theorem. Now its proof, that is very simple. So let's see how we can prove this. For that we prove as usual using the method of contradiction. So what we do, in fact, if possible, we assume that this set of eigenvectors that is linearly dependent. Right. So this is what we are doing. We are assuming x1, x2 up to xn to be linearly dependent. Now if this set is linearly dependent, that means some of the elements here could be written as the linear combination of other elements. So if I denote the index m to be the first index, where I can now write all the elements as a linear combination of the preceding elements. So xm could now be written as the linear combination of its predecessors, which are alpha 1 x1 plus alpha 2 x2 up to alpha m minus 1 xm minus 1, where now all of these x1, x2 up to xm minus 1, they are linearly independent to each other, because we have defined the definition for xm in this way, because this being the first of the vectors which is linearly dependent. So what we do, we apply t minus lambda mi on both sides of equation 1. So here when you apply t minus lambda mi on both sides of this equation, so on the left hand side you have this, on the right hand side, now you can write this linear combination to be summation alpha j xj, where j varies from 1 to m minus 1, right? So this could be written like this, and when you apply the operator t minus lambda mi onto this, so what do you have? You will have t minus lambda mi multiplied with every term, applied to every term, so that this alpha j, they are numbers, they could be brought out. So it would be not from the summation but from this operator. So basically you will have something like this: summation j varies from 1 to m minus 1, and then you have alpha j xj and the operator t minus lambda mi applied onto this. Now because this is alpha j's, they are numbers, so they could be brought in front of this operator, so that would be alpha j, the operator t minus lambda mi applied onto xj. Right. Now what are these? Lambda 1, lambda 2 up to lambda n, they were the eigenvalues of the linear operator t, and corresponding to these eigenvalues we have the eigenvectors which are x1, x2 up to xn. So therefore we can write for an operator t, t of lambda j, that is equal to t of xj, the eigenvector, that would be equal to lambda j xj, where this xj is not equal to 0. That is the definition for eigenvalues and eigenvectors. Here lambda j represents the eigenvalue and xj represents the eigenvector, where this should not be equal to 0. So using this definition here, for t xj is equal to lambda m xj, lambda j xj, what would this become? So you have lambda j and xj, so you may replace this t xj by lambda j xj over here, right? So this is according to the definition for eigenvector. Now according to this eigenvalue here lambda m, we have an eigenvector xm. So therefore T of xm would be equivalent to lambda m xm, right? So this is according to definition for eigenvectors, and if you shift this thing to the left hand side, you have this equation. Now you see that from using the above relation, where you have summation of alpha j lambda j minus lambda m into xj, so this thing becomes equal to 0. How? Because your left hand side here eventually is 0, right? So corresponding to that, because this lambda m xj, what is that? What is that is t xm, right? So you have t minus t into xm, that is 0. So therefore your right hand side also becomes equal to 0. So let's mark this as equation number 2, and here the vectors x1 x2 up to xm minus 1, they are linearly independent according to the assumption that x of m is dependent. Therefore what we can do for each of these lambdas, therefore for each of, if the linear combination here is equal to 0 as given by equation 2, then all of these numbers alpha j, scalars alpha j, they should also be 0, because this linear combination is linearly independent. If that is so, if all of the alpha j's corresponding to m minus 1 is 0, so that means the definition for xm, which is a linear combination of all of these alphas, would be 0, because every alpha here in this linear combination is 0. So from here we obtain xm to be 0. But this thing cannot happen. Why? Because this xm is the eigenvector. And by definition of eigenvector, the vector should not be equal to 0. Then only we may write t of xm is equal to lambda m xm, right? So according to this fact, our assumption is incorrect. Our assumption that the set x1 x2 up to xm is linearly dependent is incorrect. Hence the set of eigenvectors x1 x2 up to xm, that is linearly dependent. So this is the proof of this very simple theorem.